Hello, boys and girls, and welcome to your writing lesson on this Tuesday. Yesterday, boys and girls, we learned how to write the beginning of a friendly letter. We were writing a letter to Santa yesterday, and we included the date, the greeting, and a question for Santa. We even told him a little bit about ourselves. So, yesterday, we wrote three parts of the beginning of a letter. Today, our writing target is to identify more parts of a friendly letter. We're going to work on the middle and the end of our friendly letter today, and we're going to use commas in a series of items with two sentences. We're even going to try to finish it today. Okay, let's review what we did yesterday. Yesterday, we reviewed our question words, words that start a question sentence like who, what, when, where, why, how, or are, will, can, which, may, do, does, is, could, and would. These are all words that begin a question sentence. So here's what we wrote yesterday in red. We have our date up at the top. We have our greeting, which is Dear Santa. This is our greeting right here. And my question was, what does Mrs. Claus want for Christmas? You might have had a little bit of a different question for Santa, and I'm hoping that you did. Then we told him a little bit about ourselves. I wrote, my name is Jojo. I am 6 years old. I have been very good this year. So now, boys and girls, we're going to go to the middle of our letter. I'm going to use a different color green today so that you know I am at the middle of my letter and not the beginning. So the red color can represent the beginning of the letter. So I'm going to ask Santa now or tell him what I would like for Christmas. And I'm going to start with I. And it's uppercase because it's after a period. And I'm going to write I would. Let's just make that a little bit bigger so you guys can see it. I would. And then I'm going to go back and I'm going to sweep down I would like. I would like. And now I'm going to add three things that I would like for Christmas, all in one sentence. Three things, which is not too greedy and it's not too small. So it's about just right. So I'm going to choose two things that I want and one thing that I really need. So wants are something that we would like but don't have to have, and needs are something we have to survive. So I'm going to write, I would like a, and I'm going to pretend I'm 6 because I'm going to pretend that I'm 6 and want a hamster. I know. When I was little, I really wanted one. I would like a forgot my S, hamster. I would like a hamster, but I want to put it in a series. That means in a list, a horizontal list. So I'm going to put a comma right here. And now I'm going to add something else I would like for Christmas. I would like a hamster. And then I'm going to put a. My next word is remote, but I don't think I can fit it on this sentence. So I'm going to go to my next page. I would like a hamster, a remote, remote. Magic E makes that O say O. Remote, space, control. Oh, this is hard to write on here. Control. A remote control. And I'm going to say instead of a car, I want a remote control helicopter. Helicopter. Okay. So that's another thing I want. So I'm going to put a comma there because I'm making a list. I would like a hamster, a remote control helicopter, and I have two things, so I'm on my third and last item, so I'm going to put an and right here. Oof, you know what? That does not a very good and. Let's try that again. All right. And This is something I need to survive, and some boots. You might have grown out of your boots and need some more. So sometimes we have to ask for things we need and not just everything we want. It's more polite that way. Okay, you guys, we just used commas in a horizontal list or a series. I would like a hamster. That was one of my wants, a remote control helicopter, and some boots. So I have 3 items in my list that I would like. Okay, so when you write yours today, your middle, I would like you to think of 3 things and look how many commas we have. 1, here's 1 comma, 2, and let me think here. I would like a hamster, a remote control helicopter, and some boots. So we just have 2 commas right there. But you know what? I think I want to add something for Santa to bring for my whole family. Wouldn't it be nice to ask for something for somebody else instead of just myself? So I'm going to ask Santa this question, and I'm going to start with the word could. Could was our word a couple weeks ago, and it looks like called, but it's actually the word could, and it starts a nice question. Could you, Y-O-U, and I need a space, ing. Could you bring? Ing makes our ing. So we've got ing. Could you bring my my, not mi? Could you bring my family? This would be the whole family, not just your brother or sister, but it would be, could you bring my family a, and I'm going to choose 3 things to bring my family so I can make a list again. Could you bring my family a board game? That would be nice to play together. Could you bring my family a board game? Let's bring this up a little bit. Game. And then I'm going to put a comma because I have something else I'd like for him to bring my family. Oh, my S went down the basement a little bit. It's so hard to write on. Some Star Wars movies. Wouldn't that be fun to watch as a whole family? There's so many of them. So that's a comma, and there's one more thing I want him to bring my family. And 2, and I'm going to write the number word 2 sleds, so that we can go sledding together as a family. They wouldn't be just my sleds, we could share them. Okay, boys and girls, so I just wrote, could is right here. Could you bring my family a board game, some Star Wars movies, and 2 sleds? Okay, so your learning target today, boys and girls, is to write the middle of your Santa letter. You get to ask for 3 things in a list and 3 things for your family in a list, and try to use your commas in between each item. If I add my very ending to this letter, I want to switch colors for my ending. I'll write my ending in blue. So now at the very end of the letter, we have to thank Santa. We don't have our items yet, but we want to at least thank him for reading the letter. So we say thank. Ooh, there's our nka. Thank, and our th is at the beginning. Thank you. And I'm going to try to be very kind and cheerful and say, and Merry And I'm going to put all uppercase so he knows I'm really adding some cheer and emotion. And Merry Christmas. Let's do that uppercase too. Merry Christmas. Christmas is such a hard word, boys and girls. Merry Christmas. I'm going to put an exclamation mark so he knows I'm adding some really good emotion behind that. Thank you and Merry Christmas. Oh, but he doesn't know who the letter is from. So if we go all the way back to the beginning up here, we have the date, we have a greeting, we have a question, we introduced ourselves. The middle of the story has what we would like with a list and what we would like him to bring our family in a list. Then we said thank you and Merry Christmas, but we're going to add something called a salutation. Salutation. I'm going to write it on this next page right here. The salutation is sincerely. Sincerely means that you wrote it very honestly, openly, and truthfully. Sincerely. Sincerely, and you put a comma, nothing else on that line. This is called a salutation. It's the closing of your letter. Sincerely, and then you would put your name. I'm going to put JoJo's name. JoJo. This is called a closing or a salutation. Make sure you add that in your letter. Okay, so our learning target today was to write a middle and end in your letter with some commas and a horizontal list between your items. Let's read my whole letter one more time. You have a date at the top and over to the right just a little bit. See how I went over just a little bit? December 14th, that was yesterday, 2020. Dear Santa, what does Mrs. Claus want for Christmas? And that was a question. I started with the word what as my question. Then I wrote, my name is Jojo, period. I am 6 years old, period. I have been very good this year, period. Make sure you get your periods. I would like a hamster, a remote control helicopter, comma, and some boots. Could you bring my family a board game, some Star Wars movies, and 2 sleds? Thank you and Merry Christmas. Sincerely, Jojo. Don't forget your salutation. So, boys and girls, when you write your letter today, you can write 3 things that you want for Christmas, 2 things that you really want, 1 thing that you probably need. Maybe a coat, some boots, a scarf, a hat. And then you could ask 3 things for your family. And just make sure you put your commas in and put them in a list. Okay, boys and girls, have fun writing your Dear Santa letter, and you will be able to read this to me on Seesaw very soon. Thank you. Bye-bye, guys.